pressing matter of the conflict in Niger with the junta there overthrowing the president, ECOWAS coming out with a deadline to have him restored to power, the deadline passing, Niger on Sunday closing their airspace, ECOWAS saying they're going to meet on Thursday. It's all there. Here's the junta, of course, saying that they're responding to the, deadline from ECOWAS saying they closed the airspace. We have a map, I think, of what this looks like as far as diverted flights with respect to them not being able to pass. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to have to discuss what this means. We have, of course, with us in the studio, Mr. Tayo Ojuri. He's the managing partner at Aglow Aviation Services. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Good morning. It's good to see you again.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
Good to see you again. Sir, look, there's so much to discuss. I mean, let's start with Niger and that map that we just had. So what's the impact?
I wonder why you're just realizing this. We've had pre-existing situations prior to now.
Yeah.
We have Niger now. We've had Sudan in the last 2-3 months, which has their airspace closed as well. We have Libya, which is still it's not stable. It's not a stable state at the moment. So we now have an extended airspace. Maybe that's why it's now forefront. Yeah. We have an extended airspace, which is about 2,600 miles, which in approximately will take a normal flight with weather and everything. It will take them about another 2.5 hours extra flight time.
That means they're burning more fuel.
Obviously.
Wow.
More fuel, more cost, convenience, and you, apart from fuel, looking at actually the domino effects, such as the greenhouse gases as well. You know, the cost to the passenger, and even the wear and tear on the aircraft. Yeah. So all this adds up and is making it a very inconvenient operations within Africa and West Africa itself.
Burkina Faso and Mali are sympathetic to what's going on in Niger because they, of course, are military folks there. We added these 2 more circles on this map. This is just theoretical. If Burkina Faso and Mali were to close their airspace, that's almost like a triangle. I mean, I know we use circles, but if we could draw a triangle between the 3, what would that mean then? How much worse did it get?
You have to divert to there are alternate routes.
Yeah.
But it's just the longer and the more expensive routes. Don't forget, if you're bringing this to the forefront, don't forget when Ukraine and Russia was started, Russia closes airspace. And you find out that between Asia and Europe, that's the shortest route. And with that closure, you had to have a lot of airlines going diverted routes, but they burn more fuel and there's an expense to the passenger.
So price is high enough as they are already. We'll even go
exactly.
up further.
So
this is summer period.
Yeah, summer is almost over.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't be buying your summer ticket now. But if you choose to go on a late summer, it's very expensive and exorbitant at this point.
Gosh. Any chance that there are planes already grounded in Niger when that airspace was closed and they are trapped in there now? Is there any chance of that happening?
There were. Yeah. It was same thing that what happened to Sudan, where you had one attacked, the Saudi aircraft that was attacked in Sudan, went to Sudan, but they got it fixed and they had the permission of the rivals faction to take the aircraft out of the country. Those that have been there now, especially foreign aircrafts and especially European, particularly French aircrafts, have been allowed to go.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of trapped, it's something we've spoken with you about before, but it's a recurring issue. Funds trapped in a number of these African regions, particularly Nigeria. I think the Punch came out with some data on how much the CBN has, sold to the airlines. I think this comes out to about 3.7 billion. However, this is 2022. As of April 2023, IATA says, to the tune of, at least last time we checked the data, about 820 million trapped in, globally 2.2 billion, but of that 2.2 billion, top 5 countries, about 68% of that is being trapped here, and Nigeria leads the way. So this is still, of course, a headline issue, correct? Where are we now with the trapped funds?
It is like it's like every sector within Nigeria.
Yeah.
We're very consuming and less productive at this point. So with the consumption rate, you had the acting CBN governor say there was pent-up demand for the dollar, and there's still pent-up excessively pent-up demand for the dollar at this point. So you find out that, yes, you've had lots of the airlines and even the major industries and manufacturing taking a loss for that dollar and Forex change.
Yeah.
So now they've been able to take out their dollar, but moving forward, let's not just talk about what the issues are. Let's talk about what the issue will be for us moving forward.
Yeah.
We're now seeing the IATA rates fluctuation with the rate of the dollar. And because this is actually built on demand and supply, you find out that you have this rate changing on a very, very frequent basis. So you have tickets now being highly priced, and those with the lower ticket within the revenue range not opened up to the Nigerian traveling public.
Wow.
So you find out that the outstanding balances, yes, has been taken out. I don't know how much of that $812 million actually it is at this point, but they've been able to take a big chunk, and they took a loss.
Wow.
But now, moving forward, whatever they have, whatever inventory is being sold is at a higher price.
Okay, so thank you for the breakdown. So now I want to ask you about, because all this now equates to more demand for FX reserves on the CBN to try to meet all these backlogs. Competition for the domestic airlines here to try to, I guess, reduce that. There's some quotes. The Punch spoke to some of your colleagues in the aviation space. I think we've got a number of quotes. I wanted to get your reaction to what some of their thoughts, because we've talked to you about this before. Let's see what we can get here. Okay, this is Mr. Captain John Ojuri, CEO of Centurion Security. What we need to do is to establish at least 3 flag carriers to compete with international airlines that make an average of 30 flights daily to Nigeria. He also said that we should strive to make or reciprocate at least 30%, if not 50% of the daily flights. This will enable us to share 20 to 30% of the passenger traffic. Can we do that? Well, I found this a little. He said the exchange rate has not necessarily made the figure high, but airfare is equally high. If foreign airlines can get Forex at the official rates, the airfare will not be as high. Well, that kind of means that the exchange rate is an issue. I don't really agree with that last part. But what do you make of the 3 flag carriers?
The 3 flag carriers. Let's actually piggyback to what the new Civil Aviation Regulations 2023 does say. That's the basis. Our regulations is what sets the rule. The Civil Aviation Regulation actually is mandating new airlines and even existing airlines to have 6 operating aircrafts. Okay. Not 2, which was prior to this time. And the DG actually had a meeting with stakeholders last week to make sure awareness podium to actually make people understand why the 6 aircraft was mandated. Why? If there's an aircraft on ground or a technical snag, you find out that there's this delay. We had lots of delays. If there's a back strike, whatever is the challenge that actually makes that aircraft delayed, it affects the subsequent flights throughout the day. And that does not augur well for the passenger experience and for the passenger that is taking the flight that needs to travel and is time sensitive. So that's why they're actually ensuring that 6 aircrafts would actually make a good operational point stand for domestic airlines. Now with those 6 aircrafts, that's now where you'll be able to actually narrow down the players in the market. You now have the barrier to entry will already be high. Right. And with that, we have about 3 or 4 players, or even 2 players, that are able to play. And it's not just being able to operate here. Aviation is highly volatile, is highly capital intensive. We're very sustainable to global shocks. We're the first to catch a cold, and we're last to get up with the inflation. We're going through global inflation at the moment, and you find out aviation is the first thing. You drop your vacation if you're unable to travel, if you're unable to meet your bills.
Is that real? That's 6 aircraft. I mean, we talk about operational costs. Isn't that kind of expensive? Is that realistic to have one airline to have at least 6 fleets, six planes? That as the cost of acquiring the planes and getting them.
And that is where the flag carrier is. It's not just setting up an airline, it's setting up a structure. Right. It's setting up a partnership. It's setting up actually that partnership that we already have the population.
Right.
We already have, that is relative in this instance.
Yeah.
We already have the geographical location.
Yeah.
6 hours to Europe, 6 hours down to South Africa. But you find out that with that said, with six aircraft, when you have a global companies partnering you, you'll be able to play and you have code share. It's all about financial injection. Once you ensure that you are well structured, you're in line with best international practice, that actually augurs well for operations. Let us look at the reality of airline operations in the world.
Yeah.
How many companies, if you look at these airlines, how many airlines are being operated? If you look at the major airlines in Europe, IAG owns British Airways, Aer Lingus, the Iberia. Mm-hmm. You have the Eastern the Emirates of this world, the Qatars of this world. Yeah. You have the Saudi now coming up, but you find out that with the American models, these airlines are few and far between owned. Not too many. They're actually clustered or code shared, where and with the alliances make them operate better. You
mentioned partnerships. I want to get to another quote because I really want to pick your brain on collaborations, because we got another quote here from another player from that Punch piece. I think let's see what his name is here. It was also in that piece where he was talking about the need for the domestic players to collaborate and partner with the foreign ones. Yeah, okay, so this is from Olumide Ohunayo, Head of Research, Zenith Travels. The Fly Nigeria Act did not see the light of day. The capital flight will continue until we build airlines that can compete and meet the standards that international airlines can partner with. He continues, and also saying that the single ownership model in Nigeria needs to be, we must encourage our airlines to go out and move beyond single ownership. What do you make of that? Is that what?
That's the truth. That's the reality of this day.
Yeah.
No matter how strong or bright you are, Rotus, you actually have to ensure that there's a structure.
Yeah.
There are days you wake up and it's not, you wake up on that side of the bed and you don't even want to get up. And again, they're what you call whims and caprices. There are shocks in the system. So when you're actually tied, when an organization is tied to just what you call a one-man company, it's actually unable to be as dynamic, as reflective to seasonal changes. And those changes will come. You find out that it could be the bed strike. Lately, we had the water safety concern with water and fuel mixture. If that aircraft, even whatever happens to your engine, you find out that it costs you a lot of dollars just to bring that engine down, have it sent for repairs, and that could affect your operations or maintenance of subsequent number of your aircraft. But if you have a partnership, there's economics, is what you call economics of scale.
Right.
And you actually, with this structure, you're able to go to the market where you're going to actually, when you go for the just recently finished Paris air show, you have the Air India that was bought over by Tata Group was able to buy a lot of aircrafts. You have the Emirates, you have the Qatari being able to purchase numbers double digits. We're not able to get there yet due to numerous factors. Yes, insurance issues, security issues, economic issues. We don't even have a leasing company within and preceding factors.
Yeah.
So with all that's put together, if you now have a structure that is in line with best international practice, it would all go well because you have your numbers, you have your financials shared. And this actually gives whoever the investing partner, the either technical or commercial partner, the leverage and the reassurance to come and play here.
30 seconds, what's your outlook for aviation this year? With all these challenges we've discussed, in 30 seconds, what do you think?
There are two sides of it. We don't have, we still have aviation that the minister has not been appointed yet. What drives us is the policy. You have to policy side. We're dealing with inflation in Nigeria, 22 double digits, 22%. That's going to affect the movement of people because government is still the largest spender. And with disposable income lowered within Nigeria, we're not going to see numbers grow in the next quarter.
Tayo Ojuri, Managing Partner at Aglow Aviation. Always a pleasure picking your brain on aviation matters. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.